negative feelings, okay, that you might, because what happens with the human body is when we go through a traumatic experience, okay, the mind, okay, sends signals to the body, tense up, that fight or flight response kicks in, right? But what happens after a couple of minutes, your mind forgets about it, right? You calm down, but your body doesn't. Your body holds on to it. It's something called armoring, okay? And if you notice, when you do it, your shoulders go up, right? And then your shoulders go down. And what happens, this is a mechanism to allow your body to let go of that armoring process. And let me tell you, I've known people who have had this armoring process happening constantly every day, and they develop all kinds of physiological problems. Pains, or what I call air pains. It hurts me here, then suddenly it travels down to the other side, then it's in my toes. Why? Because the body remembers. The somatic system of the human body remembers, and it holds on to that. Okay, and now we come to today's talk. Really interesting. I had three things that I wanted to talk about. And I guess I'm going to go just explain a little bit about what Pure Land is. And then I'll go into my spiel. Pure Land, researchers have found, probably came from the area of what was then, okay, Khotan, or Afghanistan. A lot of people don't understand that Afghanistan at one point was a totally Buddhist country. That the borders between Nepal, India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, they weren't there. And I don't know if anyone ever saw these statues of Biamiyan that the Islamists blew up, but they were the biggest statues known of the Buddha carved into these mountainsides. And these Taliban people went in there, dug in holes, put in dynamite, and just blew them up. And they'd been there almost, 1,500 years. So you will find that there are a lot of influences in Afghani culture that actually make a direct link to Buddhism. It's a sad say. It was I saw the documentary because the Taliban filmed it to show that, these idols, these people, in Buddhism, even though you see all these statues surrounding us here, we don't worship statues. They're there as a reminder to us of certain things, certain things for us to remind ourselves of. For instance, the gentleman right behind me here is Amitabha Buddha. Okay? Amitabha means the Buddha of limitless light and limitless life. And the Pure Land tradition came from that area. Now, in the Pure Land tradition, we have four main scriptures. It's the Meditation Sutra. Sutra means scripture. The larger Amitabha Sutra, and the smaller Amitabha Sutra. And I also like to include one more. It's called the Vimalakirti Sutra. Okay, these are the main sutras. In the Mahayana tradition, there are literally hundreds of sutras. In the Pali tradition, there aren't that many. Yes, there are a lot of different discourses and what they call Nikayas, okay, but not as much as in the Mahayana tradition. Because in the Mahayana tradition, as the teachings began to evolve, they were more traditions separated. For instance, the Tibetan tradition, which we call Vajrayana, okay, or the Tantric tradition, which is inside Vajrayana, okay, and they have all these scriptures and things. So today's talk, anyway, in the Meditational Sutra, there's the story of Queen Vadehi. Now, I need to kind of preface this by saying that, you need to remember Shakyamuni Buddha, or the Buddha that we know of as the Buddha of this world. Okay? And by the way, there are hundreds and thousands and probably millions of Buddhas that have existed and will exist, and more Buddhas to come. Because Buddhahood is not a godlike state. It's not a supreme God that, he does things and makes, no. You are a Buddha. You are a Buddha. You are a Buddha. Everyone here is a Buddha. We all have something called Bodhi nature or Buddha nature. Bodhi means to awaken. Okay? And that's what the Buddha came to teach us. That everyone has this nature within them. So how come we don't know about it? Because during our time when we were born here on this earth, and as we grow up and become older, we get dirty. We develop, it's called the dusts. We forget, and it's covered over. And because we're so busy living our day-to-day lives, we never once look inside to find this Buddha nature within us. But it's always there, and it's always available. And yes, eventually, according to Amitabha Buddha, because this is what he said, everyone that's here will become a Buddha eventually. Eventually. Some quicker than others, because again, it depends on you, on what it is that you're doing, okay? Who you are. Everyone has a different personality and has a different way of being. So some people are after money, and because that's their sole focus, they don't care about spirituality or finding their own, Buddha nature. They don't care about that. And there are people that are not so rich and they're so poor that their whole thing is like, I need to survive. I don't care about it. I just need to survive. I need to eat. I need to have shelter. So forget about this stuff. Okay? But this single purpose of why you are here right now on this earth, okay, is to give you an opportunity to discover this. I said this the other day, and I always say this again and again. It's like this. Imagine you imagine an ocean, and in this ocean there's a life preserver floating, and from somewhere down in the bottom there is a leatherback turtle swimming and coming up and putting his head and most of his body through the life preserver. What are the chances of that happening? In real life, what are the chances of something like that happening?
Nil.
Right? It's almost nil. That is the same chance that humans have of listening to the words I'm talking about, or that I'm repeating today. So that for you to be here and to hear this is the most incredible opportunity. Because, friends, this is not the first time we've been together. This is not the first time that you have been around on this carousel ride, which we call rebirth. Some people call karma. Okay?